Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
The word resilient by definition means able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. And after a 3-game sweep at the hands of the Royals this past weekend, and after coming from behind twice in Game 1 last night versus the Yankees, one could say the Sox play of late is every letter of the word resilient. Tonight, Miss Back to Work as Ventura and crew look to make it 2 in a row against the AL East leading Yankees. Coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, A.J. Pierzynski, Alex Rios and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Derek Jeter and the New York Yankees. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you Game 2 of this 3-game series. In the opener last night was a very exciting ball game, very long ball game as well. Yankees jumped off to a quick 3-0 lead. Sox came back to take a 5-3 lead. Yankees went ahead 6-5. And all of a sudden, a big 2-run homer by Alexei Ramirez, solo shot by Dunn. We wound up winning that ball game 9-6. So the Sox come in now, 2 games in front of the Tigers. And tonight, Liriano on the bump.
Francisco last time out threw the ball very well against Toronto, but career-wise, he's just 1-4 against these Yankees. His ERA around 4. 4-10 this year with a higher ERA than he would like, but if he gets the ball over the plate, he can be pretty tough. Ivan Nova goes to the mound for the Yankees. He's 2-0 lifetime against our ball club with an ERA of 1.33. This year, 11-6. Now, the one problem with Nova is he gives up a lot of home runs. We hit a lot of home runs. That's not a good combination for the Yankees, nor for Nova. Let's take the second game of the series.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
tonight, 73 degrees. And time now for the starting Yankee lineup. Let's see how Joe Girardi is going to put him out there this evening. Derek Jeter leading off. He had 4 hits last night. Then it's Swisher, Cano, Teixeira, Jones, Granderson, Nix, McGee, and Martin rounded out. The defense, and now the lineup behind Francisco Liriano, Viciedo, Wise, and Rios in the outfield. Euclid, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko. A.J. Pierzynski with the nod behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Francisco Liriano. Looking for win number 5, trying to beat the Yankees for the 2nd time in his career. The umpires for the game tonight: Jeff Nelson behind the plate, Mike Muchlinski at first, Bill Welke at second, and Tim Cheetah is at third. So we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Steve. Thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for game 2 of this 3-game set. And this will be the 6th meeting of the year between these two clubs. In the first 5, our Sox have won 3 of them. So here's Jeter. All he did last night was go 4 for 5 with a homer. And now make it 5 for 6 with 2 homers.
Well, unfortunately, Liriano not accustomed to the fact that Jeter loves to swing the first pitch of the ball game. Got a base hit to right field on the first pitch last night, and now takes it out of the ballpark for his 12th home run. His 42nd driven in our Ford home run replay. First ball fastball gone.
That didn't take long. Well, we wouldn't feel comfortable unless we had to come from behind with these guys.
Well, last night we did it from a little further behind, and we're going to have to do it again, just out of home run.
So here's Swisher. He walked 3 times last night, scored twice. And he takes ball 1. There's the strike. Swisher hitting at 271, 18 homers, 69 knocked in. Yankees hitting 267 as a club with a 3.81 ERA. Yankees 33 and 26 on the road, and 39 and 24 at home.
This is a good solid ball club, but they've got Tampa Bay right on their heels, just 4 games back, and winners of 5 in a row.
There's the strike. Evens the count at 2. That just amazes me.
That year after year they get it done.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know how I feel. They get the best manager in baseball. That's one of the big reasons. He's got those guys believing they can beat anybody. And that's out of play.
Here's what it looks like in the East with the Rays 4 games behind. Baltimore having a good solid year, 6 games behind. The Red Sox and Blue Jays in the division.
And the 2-2. And that's a base hit. Just serve that one into center field. I hope our guys saw last night. You go deep in the counts to these guys, they're going to get you. You let them see 4, 5, 6 pitches in at bat, you're in trouble. You better get them as quickly as you can. That's it. This baseball's a game of first. For the pitcher, it's get ahead. First pitch strike, most important pitch in baseball. And if that being the case, for the hitter, get it fast as you can. First or second pitch, third pitch.
Well, unfortunately, this Yankee team is one of the most patient of all ball clubs. They're going to force you to throw strikes. If you don't throw strikes, then you're going to go 6, 7, maybe 8 pitches deep and in at bat.
Cano 1 for 4 last night, hitting at 305, 25 homers and 68 knocked in.
Career versus Liriano, pretty good for lefty against lefty. One and 1 to count. Cano has grounded into 16 double plays this year. That puts him second on the ball club. Swisher does not have great speed.
Got a very short lead. So the count 1-2.
Liriano does have 7 wild pitches this year. Because he likes to bury that slider in the dirt, a little pressure will fall to AJ to block anything.
He gone. 1 down.
I believe there's a Mr. Bertucci here to see you, Mr. Harrelson.
We're all right. The Bertucci boys in the house. Bobby, Bruno, Handsome Anthony, and Giggs. Can't forget about Giggs.
That was a good block by AJ that time on a breaking ball in the dirt, and he got Cano.
So here is Teixeira hitting in .259, 23 homers and 80 driven in. He's 3 for 20 with a homer, lifetime off Francisco. He was 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs last night.
And he is a better hitter with more power from the right side. He has more home runs as a left-hander, but almost twice as many at bats.
Now Georgia Tech.
Very high draft choice, and possibly would have been a higher draft choice, but he broke his ankle. And for some teams, that slid him down on the list.
He graduated from Mount St. Joseph High School in Maryland. That's the same high school that Gavin Floyd graduated from. There's a strike with a changeup. Outfield about equidistant straight up. 2-2 the count.
Sure has won 4 Gold Gloves, so he can pick it down there.
Yeah, we've got 2 good first basemen in this game. Good hands. Get foul. It will. Right size. Wrong shape.
Nissan Pitch Tracks. That's a cutter that has a little too much of the plate, but fortunately Teixeira well out in front of it. You get it solid.
Well, when you've been in the league as long as he have, when you get a pitch like that and you get too quick, you get upset with yourself. And that's what he did right there. He knew he could have waited back just a hair longer and kept that ball fair. Now rookies, takes them a while to understand. Rookies are just satisfied to hit it hard, whether it's fair or foul.
This team is conspicuously low on rookies.
Yeah. You know, it's the way it's been. I mean, it's been that way since the 70s with the Yankees. It seems like they've got 60 guys on their 40-man roster and 40 guys on their 25-man active roster.
Well, they've got a $91 million infield, which, of course, is when A-Rod is in there and he's out with a broken hand.
And he walks him. So trouble of brewing. 1 in, 2 on, 1 out. And that'll bring up Andrew Jones at 212. 13 homers, 30 knocked in. He has faced Liriano 17 times, has 4 hits, 3 of which stayed in the park.
There was a time when he could really run, but those days are gone. So ground ball here is going to yield 2. Andrew's at the stage of his career where he's been trying to pull most everything.
Well, one of the great players and certainly one of the great center fielders in the history of this game. Takes that change up down low. He won 10 consecutive Gold Gloves. Only one of 4 players to hit 50 home runs or more and win a Gold Glove in the same season. Willie Mays, Ken Griffey Jr., and Alex Rodriguez.
But with the Atlanta Braves, he came up and never looked back. They brought him to the big leagues. Bobby Cox taught him a lesson or 2 about hustle. He didn't have to relearn them, and he was a great one.
And the count 3-0. Base on balls got us in trouble last night again.
Well, already Liriano is going to deliver pitch number 23 with only 1 out here in the first, and that's what the Yankees will do to you if you don't get it over early in the count.
And there's the strike. Anderson on deck. And that'll load him up. Oh, we just can't get out of our own way.
Well, the first inning last night, Gavin Floyd did almost a miraculous job of getting out of a terrible inning, walking 2 and a couple of hits and a hit batsman. Only gave up 2 runs, but he only lasted into the 3rd.
So here is Granderson at 241, 32 homers, 72 knocked in with the sacks packed and 1 down and 1 in. Blocked nicely, and here comes Coop. And if you're just tuning in, Derek Jeter, who last night led off the ball game, hit the first pitch thrown by Gavin Floyd, a line shot single between first and second, and tonight hit the first pitch thrown by Liriano out of the ballpark.
Well, the one thing that Don Cooper is going to tell Liriano is something that I'm sure that he knows, but occasionally he falls into that pattern of not keeping his weight over his back foot, giving away the body too quickly, and consequently you can't have the same release point. If that happens, you're not going to be able to throw strikes, and that's what's happened to Liriano in a lot of this season, but especially here tonight.
Okay. Make a good throw. Liriano's being a spectator. And it's 2-0.
RBI number 73 for Granderson. If Liriano gets over there quickly enough, it's still going to be a bang-bang play, and could have gone either way. But because he falls off the mound to the third base side, he has to do a 360. And by that time, no chance to get a very fleet Curtis Granderson.
Curtis 8 for 11 in stolen bases. And that'll bring up Jason Nix, hitting at 256, 4 homers, 16 knocked in. I've never seen a runner yet, I don't care how fast they were, could beat a pitcher to first base if he busted it over there. Never. There's the strike. Jason's hit Liriano well, 4 for 9 with a homer.
Well, Jason was a good player with us. One thing he couldn't do was keep the ball fair. And that's unfortunate because he hit the ball very hard. He wore out the seats in left field, however.
Meanwhile, he was 0-2 every at bat.
Let's watch it again. Watch Liriano. He falls off the mound and then doesn't really sprint over there, but to fall off the mound and then when you don't sprint, well, now you have no chance. And you got to get over there. I mean, they start that in spring training, telling you that.
Well,
it's a mental. It actually turns out to be a mental mistake.
Well, certainly it is, because the fact is still ingrained in every player who ever played the game. To this day, I'm almost 71 years old. To this day, every time a ball's hit like that, I say, get over there. I mean, that's just what you grow up with.
Well, it certainly helps you, and if you don't bust it over there, then you're not going to get that double play. A tough double play, a 3-6-1, but a chance.
Two and two the count.
About ready to deliver pitch number 31.
He gone. Well, some damage is done. They come up with two. We go to the bottom of the first, trailing 2-0.
Dwayne Wise leading off. Alejandro Diaz on the disabled list, and it's Euclid, Dunn, Canerco, Rios, Pierzynski, Viciedo, Ramirez, and Beckham rounded out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Nova. Jones, Granderson, and Swisher in the outfield. Nix, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira in the infield. Russell Martin behind the plate. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Ivan Nova, who last year was 16-4. This year, 11-6, but the ERA is way up there. However, against us lifetime, 2-0 with an ERA of 1.33.
Don't say it so loud.
Well, he's been tough, but he's given up a lot of home runs recently.
First pitch to Dwayne Wise, and before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Down ball. That's going to be a base hit. Good start.
Good start and another terrific pickup by Kenny Williams. He gets Dwayne Wise when he became available. Turns into a wonderful insurance policy as that ball just ticked off the glove of Jeter. But with Alejandro Diazo having some back problems, Diazo put on the disabled list. Jordan Danks called up, but Wise now getting a whole lot of play in center.
Uke takes one away. D. Wise stole his 9th base last night. He's 9 for 9 in that category. Outfield spread out, for the most part straight up. And the count 2-0. Now
Martin goes out to talk with Nova, who's digging himself into the same type of hole that Francisco Liriano dug himself into. And we got some patient hitters in our team also. Joe Girardi, along with his pitching coach Larry Rothschild.
And that's ball 4. So the first 2 men aboard. Well, again, another guy that's not talked about enough is Jeff Manto. I mean, we all love Greg Walker. And with some guys, Greg did just a terrific job, one being Konerko. But Jeff has just turned some other guys around.
Well, many times it is the messenger and not the message. But Jeff has some different drills, different techniques, and some guys really responded well. A lot of guys did.
One of them at the plate right now. Another one was Alex Rios. 0-1 the count. Tevegan hitting at .208, 36 homers, 84 knocked in. 1 for 3 last night with that opposite field homer.
And no real shift on them because of runners at first and second.
And the count of 1-2. And if you missed that game last night, there's Adam. He's coming in the 8th inning.
Hit that ball off the end of the bat. And still took it way out.
And that ball gets away. They got to go to second base. And they're going to get you.
Heads up play by Russell Martin, realizing there was no chance at all to get Wise, and he was probably thinking what he would do in the case of a double steal. You go after the slower trailer. So he keeps the ball in front of him. Wise is going to make it easily. But good play by Martin. And Uke tries to go around the bag.
He did.
The old look this way and then sneak back, but didn't seem to work.
Good job by Welke, making sure. So that's 2 out. Wow. We had the same situation last night. Several times. Runner on third, less than 2 out, and did not get him in.
Happened in the first 2 innings. We had Freddie on the ropes, and Garcia managed to wiggle out. Didn't wiggle out of the fifth. However, did wiggle out of the first two.
So here's Paulie at 313, 20 and 57. He's 5 for 11 off Nova. And all 5 have stayed in the park. Martin with another ball in the dirt.
Nova has 6 wild pitches this year.
Devon's 25 years old, 6'4", 225 pounds, out of San Cristobal in the Dominican. That's backhanded. The plant, the peg. So we get the first 2 guys on, can't do anything with it. We trail it 2-0.
To you by Miller Lite.
As you check out our Comcast Sportsnet tail of the tape, top of the second. Martin and Jeter. Casey McGee. Pinch hit last night, knocked in a run. At the time it was a big run.
Not much with the glove, but a terrific pinch hitter.
As we speak, top of the 6th in Detroit, 3-1 Tigers lead Toronto. Scherzer against Romero. And that's out number 1. So that'll bring up Russell, Nathan, Jeanson, Coltrane, Martin Jr.
It's a good moniker.
Yeah. Russell's from his dad. Nathan was his great grandfather. Jeanson is his mother's maiden name, and Coltrane is to pay homage to jazz musician John Coltrane. Russell. So that's into right. 2 down.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it's the first pitch of the game, and it went out of the park.
Well, as I said many times in the past, my all-time favorite ball player to watch play is George Brett. And this guy is pushing him. takes a strike. 38-year-old. Hitting at .327, 12 homers, 42 knocked in. And what an asset to our wonderful game he has been.
See where he ranks this year in a year that was supposed to be a down year for him. Third in batting average, first in hits, first in road average, first against the left-handers, and second with multi-hit games. So down year? I should think not. He seems to be getting better, which is a scary thought.
Like a miracle. He gone. 1-2-3 inning. Good comeback inning for Liriano, but we trail it 2-0. In the crew, well, they went with Viciedo. He's going with Canerco and Phyllis and Tom and Deb Leonakis down at Roseland Gardens. We're going to go with Dwayne Wise. So here's Rios. It'll be Rios, Pierzynski, and Viciedo. Alex at an even 300. 19 homers, 71 driven in.
And lately, as the batting average has fallen off a bit, he's been pulling the ball to the left side on the ground a lot. We can get him hitting that ball to right and right center like he does when he's swinging it well. The batting average will start to rise again.
Well, that's a symptom. And that symptom being a little weary. A little tired.
Yeah, he's been out there just about every day.
And he's been playing us behind off in right field. Running all over out there. The line, right center.
Alex doesn't get too many days off. This is game number 119 for him. Game number 122 for our club.
There's a shot. And it gets by him. So now he's going to turn it on and he's going to get into third. And that's going to be his 7th triple. He has been a wonderful, has had, I should say, a wonderful rebound season.
He hit this ball so hard in the gap that Swisher couldn't get to it. And this ball rolled a long way before it got by Nick. But he doesn't have the speed of Ichiro in right field. Alex in easily at third, and a very promising way to start off the second.
Here's AJ hitting at .298, 23 homers and 68 driven in. Here's a good breaking ball from Ivan Nova.
Nova has a curve and a slider. And depending on which is better on a given night, he'll go to that pitch. He prefers the slider.
Ball gets through the wickets, but
yeah, unfortunately, we caught a bad break. As that hit the leg of Jeff Nelson, it got by Russell Martin. If it doesn't hit the leg of Nelson, we're going to cut the lead in half.
AJ's had a tough go of it with Nova. 1 for 10.
But he hasn't faced him swinging the bat like he's swinging it now.
Never. And that's into left field. Andrew Jones getting set. And here comes Alex. Here's the throw. Safe. And it's a 2-1 ball game. RBI number 69 for AJ.
Jones with a pretty good arm, sets up nicely for this one, only he has to drag it all the way across his body. And that allowed Alex the 2 steps he needed to get in well ahead of the tag and cut the lead in half.
So here's Tank. Breaking ball strike. Tank at 256, 19 homers, 57 knocked in, and he's on an 11-game hitting streak. Oh, and 2 the count. 2 breaking pitches. And that's popped up playable. And that's out number 2.
Probably have a while to wait until Teixeira doesn't make the play. He's only had 1 error this entire season in 114 games.
Here's Alexei. 1 for 3 last night, but it was a biggie. Line shot right to Cano, and that's a hang whooping for Alexei. But we get on the board. The triple, the sacrifice fly, and it is 2-1 Yankees.
up in the next month, and certainly one of them has to do with Star Wars, but I'll let Nicole explain it to you.
Well, we always have a lot of exciting things that we do here at the ballpark, and we just enjoy having the fans out here and having a lot of fun. We've got fireworks coming up this weekend for both days, Friday and Saturday, Beach Bash, and then a movie theme on Saturday. But what I'm really excited about is on September 8th, we've got Star Wars Day here at the ballpark. It's our second annual Star Wars event, and the great thing about it is that the proceeds for the tickets that are sold through the package go to Stand Up to Cancer. So if you purchase tickets, we ask you to come out dressed as your favorite Star Wars characters. You can go on whitesox.com/Star Wars. Purchase your tickets through there. You get a commemorative cup. We ask those who are coming, come dressed, come to Gate 1 and participate in our pregame parade. But $5 of all the proceeds from those tickets through that package go directly to Stand Up to Cancer.
How about some of the other events, and our fans certainly would like to go to those? How do they get tickets and know that the events are actually taking place?
Well, the biggest thing is we like to keep everything online, so easily accessible. We tell everybody to go to our promotionals calendar online and just check out everything that we have going on here at the ballpark. Also, they can just contact their season ticket rep and talk to them about some of the different events that we do here. But for Star Wars Day, we're asking everybody to try to buy tickets through whitesox.com/Star Wars.
Thank you, Nicole, and thanks, Darth.
All right, 1-2 the count to Swisher. That's high and wide. Swisher singled and scored back in the first. It's a 2-1 Yankee lead. 2-2-0 for them, 1-2-0 for us. Tigers threatening, got the bases loaded. They had them with no out. It is now bases loaded, 1 out, and they're leading Toronto 3-1. Make it 4-1.
Swisher usually has trouble with the changeup. We saw that when he was here. Let's see what AJ wants.
All right, 1 out right now. Let's go back to our studios and Susanna Collins. All right, Susanna, thank you very much. Yeah, first baseman David Cooper just had a brain cramp on that play. And here's Cano. He struck out on a good slider.
Last inning for Liriano, a very good one and a very quick one, and he could use another one here.
One and two the count.
Cano having big trouble with that hard slider. There you can see the first inning. Somewhat costly as far as pitches, but a good second, and hopefully followed up by a speedy third.
Two and two the count. And a full count. Washington leading Atlanta 1-0. That's Strasburg. That's in the top of the fourth inning in D.C. and what an issue that has become.
It's on a daily basis. You're reading about when they're going to shut him down, if they're going to shut him down. If they do shut him down, will they bring him back for the playoffs?
I just saw something. before the game started on a crawl, loose crawl. He gone. First time I've ever seen something like that. Scott Boras, the agent,
yes,
on a call, says he and Mike Rizzo built that Washington ball club.
Well, nice to see that Scott, who is an agent, has become an assistant GM.
I know it. I mean, that was incredible. I've never seen anything even close to that, approaching that, in my entire life in this game. An agent saying he and the general manager built that ball club. Two and 0 the count.
Well, they do have 8 or 9 Boras players on that team. However, Scott certainly didn't force Mike to choose any of them, and if he trades one of them, I'm not sure he consults Scott.
Well, they're all getting paid, aren't they? I mean, it's not like Boras said, here,
yeah,
take these guys and play.
Take them for free, and you'll be real good. Been a great year for the Nationals. Best record in baseball. 30 over 500. 6 games ahead of the Braves.
Come back. Nope. Second row. So another full count with 2 down here in the top of the 3rd.
5 strikeouts already for Francisco, but the pitch is starting to mount.
And that's a top foul over into our dugout. Yeah, I saw that little crawl there and had a laugh. I mean, that's comical.
Well, I mean, if he has any great players anywhere else in the league, I'm sure that Mike Rizzo would love to have him if Scott can engineer the deal. Preferably for minor league infielder.
So that breaks speak of 7 in a row retired by Francisco. And it's the 3rd walk. And here's Andrew Jones, who drew a walk back in the 1st.
Andrew, I think you have to be careful about first ball fastball, especially middle in.
I don't know about now, but 2 years ago when he was with us, he could hit the ball as far as anybody.
He's still pretty strong.
He could absolutely kill it.
13 home runs and 189 at bats. That pencils out to a big year over a full season.
Strike, and the count evens at 1. Tigers now leading 5-1. Could have been a 2-run brain cramp by Cooper at first base. And count 1-2. Angels leading Boston 5-0 at Fenway. That game in the bottom of the 6th. See what Trout's done. There's a bullet. So the walk is at second. 2 on 2 out, and that'll bring up Granderson.
Well, the Angels are starting to fall off the map. They're 2 over 500, 9.5 games in back of Texas, and losers of 4 in a row heading into tonight. So they have really got to start to pick it up. If not, That's one of the teams that will not be in the running for the wild card.
Now Trout tonight 2 for 4 with a run scored. Hitting at .344. Trumbo has homered his 30th. Boy, Trout's just put him, as far as the media goes, underneath the table.
You don't hear his name. All you hear is Mike Trout. And Trumbo's going to wind up with maybe 45 home runs.
Curtis picked up an RBI, hit into a 3-6 fielder's choice. Paulie's got him. We got Paulie. They got the share. Both of them can pick it, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the third. It is 2-1 Yankees.
Yankee record for the most hits in a season. You think about that, think about all the great Yankees, and we'll get back to you a little later in the game with the answer.
27-time world champion, New York Yankees.
That's one of the reasons why Joe Girardi's wearing 28. Last year he wore 27. Not last year, 2 years ago, 27. Now wearing 28.
And here's number 15 for us. Gordon Beckham takes first pitch strike. Gordon 2 for 3 last night with an opposite field homer. And that tied the game at 6. Breaking ball out a little quick. And the count 0-2. One down.
What's the difference between trying to hit a curveball, waiting for it, and a slider, which is also a breaking pitch but harder?
You're asking the wrong guy.
You told
I couldn't hit either one of them. I didn't know there was anything but a fastball. Now you could ask Paulie that, and he'll give you a real good answer. Yes, here's Dwayne Wise, who singled to start off the bottom of the first. Well, as we've talked many times in the past, Steve, that we both have said that, especially a right-hander, it's hard for a right-hander to have a good curveball and a good slider in the same outing.
Very rare.
Yeah, very rare. That's popped up. And that's out number 2. Usually, if you see a right-hander with a good slider and a good curveball on a consistent basis, you're looking at a 20-game winner.
Well, because one is a spin pitch. That's the curveball. You try to get as much spin as possible. And the other is actually released almost like a football, and you get much more velocity on it. So they are two distinct different pitches.
Well, isn't it? Yeah, and here's Uke. He walked. The thing about it is that if you have, as a hitter, if you have to have either or, you'd much rather hit a guy with a pretty good curveball than a good slider. The slider is that ball is hit well in the center field, but right at Granderson. And that didn't take long. 1, 2, 3. We're into the fourth, trailing 2-1.
Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
It's a 2-1 Yankee lead here in the top of the fourth inning. It'll be the lower third of their order. Nix, McGee, and Martin. Jason struck out his first trip. Jason's a little more of a crouch now than when he was with us.
Kevin Long is their hitting coach, and he's a pretty good one. And he's got certainly a lot of stars and a lot of egos to deal with. But he's done a nice job with this club.
That was a good slider. Down and in on count 1 and 2. And for upcoming White Sox games, first 25,000 fans receive a Constellation Energy game card, which gives you a 5% discount on your electrical needs. And that is fouled over and unplayable on top of the Yankee dugout. Gap out there in left center. He gone. Change up.
Strikeout starting to pile up. That's number 6. Good changeup, well out of the zone. And ahead of the hitter. Not really a hittable pitch.
Here's McGee. Went out to Rios and right. Out of Fresno State.
It's some pretty good baseball teams.
I don't believe it. That's a good athletic program.
They are that.
I played in Visalia in the California State League, and Fresno was in there. They were the Giants.
And I played in Fresno. That was my first stop. Good city.
You started with the Giants.
I did.
Yeah, Randy Hundley was a catcher there.
Yeah, with them right before he came to the Cubs.
Yeah. Well, you knew just playing against him, you knew he was going to be a big leaguer. Two and two the count to McGee. And another full count.
That one hit AJ, and so Jeff Nelson goes out. Give AJ a chance. Find out if he's okay. Actually, it hit Jeff Nelson in the left elbow. Bounced over AJ.
Payoff pitch. Fastball. And Alexei, and our congratulations go out to Alexei and his wife on the birth of their son Alex early this morning. The young man is their fourth child, third boy. Both mom and baby are doing well. They're both healthy and happy, so congratulations. Martin fouls that back. Interesting bio on him. He was born in Toronto and lived in Paris from the time he was 8, 9, and 10. And there's a base hit, a little duck snort.
Well, for a while, Russell Martin was thought of to be the Dodger catcher for a long time.
Oh, yeah. His dad, Russell Sr., used to play the saxophone in the Montreal subway stations to pay for Russell's baseball lessons.
Well, with that last contract that Russell got with the Dodgers, I hope that he paid him back. Because he was pretty well paid over there and a good player for them.
Jeter, nice recognition there. Made his own hop. And that'll return to the side. We go to the bottom of the fourth. We still trail it 2-1.
It was who holds the Yankee record for the most hits in a season, and the answer, Don Mattingly. Well, that's a big year. 1986, 238 hits. Donnie Baseball, as he was called, was some first baseman and some hitter. He's also grown into a pretty good manager, learning at the knee of Joe Torre, taking over the Dodgers. And they're having a pretty strong year, half game out of first place behind San Francisco.
He's been somewhat of an enigma in the respect of not being recognized for as great a player as he was, even though he still played in New York. He was not a guy who sought the media attention. He was accommodating to him, very nice, you know, but he was just an unreal player. As here's Adam. You mentioned first base. There's not too many guys that have picked it over there better than Don Mattingly.
No, it's really surprising because he probably was at a time when the Yankees were. Because otherwise, when you're on the big stage, when you're in New York,
yeah,
you're going to get that kind of recognition. And they went through a relatively.
Yeah, he just never. People obviously knew he was a heck of a player, but they didn't just how good he was. 2-0 the count. Adam, who struck out. It's a 2-1 Yankee lead. Drops a breaking ball on him. Three and one. Kaneko on deck. Rios in the hole.
Well, this is where guys who do give up a lot of home runs have a tendency to give them up.
There's a shot. That's a hang whiffle.
Unfortunately, it was a sinking rocket.
Cano almost got handcuffed on it.
Tries to throw a fastball inside. It drifts out over the plate. Adam can't get under it enough. It knocks Cano back on one leg.
Paulie. 0 for 1. Hit one deep in the hole that Derek Jeter went way back on the grass. Knew who was running. Took his time. Went over the top with a good throw and got it. One and one to count. Bottom of the eighth down in St. Pete, no score. Kansas City against the Rays. That ball hit deep. Jones back, looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Yes. This game is tied at 2. It's all good.
21 and 58 are the power numbers for Paulie. And since coming back from the concussed list, he hasn't missed a thing. That ball up and in. Andrew Jones looking a bit like a jack-in-the-box. So have to put up the glove after all. He had no chance at it.
Breaking ball right off the mitt. Russell Martin.
24th home run given up by Nova.
Another breaking ball, and that one grabs the strike.
Most home runs since August 3rd. We are on top by a wide margin over these Yankees, with the Angels and Reds right there.
Alex tripled and scored. Was leading off the second inning. Scored on a sacrifice fly by the on-deck hitter. AJ. 2-4-0 for them, 2-3-0 for us. That ball lined hard. Nick Jones is there. That was a pump back line drive. Two down. And fans, this is your chance to win a Paul Konerko autographed jersey or one of 5 autographed baseballs. Simply visit whitesox.com/survey and tell the White Sox what you think. Now, you must complete the survey before tonight's game ends. Survey takers will also receive a discount to a select upcoming White Sox game. There's a shot, a hang Woofle. He did never get out of the box. But the homer by Paulie will go to the 5th, tied at 2. Twitter, pin us on Pinterest, and reblog our unique Tumblr content. Visit whitesox.com/connect today. I like that social network. And yet I don't know how to Twitter, Facebook, or any of that. Pin us, Pinterest.
I can text.
I can occasionally. My fingers are too big. It takes me a long time just to put one word in there.
You got to get a stylus.
They cost too much. I lose it.
I was going to say, if you lose 50 of them.
I know it.
Yeah.
21 to count. Swisher has singled and scored and struck out. A 2-2 tie here in the top of the 5th. Both their runs, if you're just joining us, coming in the 1st inning. No walks. 3-1.
Usually the only time you get Swisher to swing at a pitch out of the zone is when he has 2 strikes. And then it's usually either a slider or a straight change.
That's can of corn. Boy, you don't think they're doing some chunking down in Tampa Bay? Listen to this. Hochaver worked 8 innings, no runs, 1 hit, 10 strikeouts. Price, 8 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts.
That's probably the best game Luke Hochaver has thrown in quite some time. Maybe the best game he's ever thrown.
Yeah. Luke Scott, the DH, got the only hit off of him so far. Cano 0 for 2 with a couple of punch outs.
Well, you were asking about the underrated Don Mattingly. Dave Ross provides .307 career batting average. That's pretty good. 2,153 hits. That's very good. 222 home runs. 1,099 runs batted in and 442 doubles. That's not enough to get you recognized.
Yeah.
It's surprising.
Well, you know, the fans obviously knew they loved him. He was their baby doll. But outside of that, people just thought, well, he's a good player.
Those are pretty sterling numbers.
Yeah, he also homered in, what, 8 consecutive games?
Yep, he did indeed.
I saw each one of them. He did not go. Top of the 8th, 5-1 Tigers over Toronto. That's in Detroit. There's a chopper to Harper. Gordon's got it. 2 down.
Well, after the first inning, Liriano has settled down. Not had too many control lapses, but he's limited them to just 2 hits. Just 4 overall.
And he has walked 3. Here's 2 of those 3 right here. Teixeira. Top of the 5th in Texas, Baltimore and the Rangers tied at 1. And the finale of this series tomorrow evening. Chris Sale against Phil Hughes. So make your plans to be with us at the ballpark. If you can't, that game will be over WCIU.
There you look at the numbers so far on Liriano. He's being careful with Teixeira. I can't blame him because he might be their most dangerous right-hand hitter.
Watch out.
Well, dangerous.
Duck and duck.
He almost took his head off with that line drive. Line drive. Fortunately, it was high enough, but they come back at you in a hurry.
So here's Andrew. He has walked and then he just rifled, rocketed, tattooed a single into left field. If he'd got that ball up, it's probably gone on the concourse. To another count. And we'll send a big shout out to Frankie Lizzie, grandson of a good friend of mine, Tom LaPera. Frankie is a huge Sox fan in the American League. In the National League, he likes the Reds. So he's talking. Well, he's a front runner already. He takes after his granddad. 2 division leaders.
Of course. I mean, hard to tell you that he's a huge Houston fan. I think they won 11 games, something like that, on the road.
There's a strike and the count 2-1. 2-5-0 for New York. 2-3-0 for our Sox.
They won 12 on the road. Of course, they will be moving into the American League next year, the American League West. Well, they'll be warmly greeted by the Rangers.
Takes it up. Takes strike 2. Yeah, well, from everything we've heard, we haven't seen it. There is a preliminary schedule out, but from what we've heard, it's not going to be a fun schedule.
No, a lot of 2-game,
right?
A lot of 2-game series because of interleague play, played every day with 15 teams in each league.
He gone. We're halfway home, tied at 2. Cabrera is an RBI machine.
Has been from the day he stepped into that outfield with, at the time, the Florida Marlins.
We got ourselves a 2-2 tie here. It'll be the lower third of our order. Viciado. Stay fair. Just fouled. That gummit. Alexei and Beckham. Ate him up. And a count 0-2. Outfield slightly to the right. Nix back off the line at third. Teixeira way off the line at first.
That one hopped right over Russell Martin, well in front of home plate.
There's a soft line drive. Cano, he plays most of our guys right up the middle. One out.
We're getting to the point where after today's game there's 40 left. Do you ever get to the point where you start adjusting your pitching rotation to who we're playing? I'm talking about the 7 games we have left with Detroit.
Well, I'm a firm believer. I don't touch a thing.
Just let them go in their rotation.
And that's it. I'll tell you, I'll never forget one of the 1969. I'm with Cleveland, and there's an off day, and Alvin Dark and I are going over to Firestone to play golf with Bobby Nichols. So I was reading the paper as Alvin was driving, and I'm looking at what's going on that day. And all of a sudden I turned to Alvin and I said, "Did you see what Leo's doing today?" Leo DeRocha was manager of the Cubs.
Yep.
I said, "Did you see what Leo's doing today?" He says, "What?" I said, "He's pitching Hands and Jenkins out of rotation. They had a doubleheader with the Mets."
So you move them both up a day?
Yeah. You know, first thing out of Alvin's mouth, he may have just blown the pennant. And they had like a 9-game lead at the time.
Oh, yeah?
He said he may have just blown the pennant. And sure enough, the Mets won the doubleheader, came back, and won a world championship. And the 69 Cubs were a good ball club.
They were a terrific team. And they were worried about St. Louis, who was chasing them. And here comes the Mets. And the Mets did them both in.
Yeah. Yeah, they won't catch that one. Get through. Get through. Alexei's going to give it a go. Here's the throw. Safe. Number 18 and doubles for Alexei. That's for the new son.
Well, he's been up twice. He's hit the ball hard twice. Well, this time he hit it over Cano's head. Then realizing that Granderson was going away from the throw, even though Granderson tried to set up, he did a 360. Got the ball there quickly enough, but Alexei got the hand in well ahead of the tag. Good effort by Granderson. Good base running by Alexei.
So here is Gordon. Pick him up, Gordon. Gordon struck out his first trip. Yeah, but I just grew up with the idea, especially if you're in first place, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What's your feeling on that?
Well, you know, my feeling is if you start juggling, you're going to take 1 or 2, sometimes 3 pitchers, pitch them out of rotation, not just one. So you can't do what's best for everybody by taking care of what's best for the one guy. And, you know, we're talking about the way it sits right now, it looks like Jake's going to miss Detroit in both series. And again, if you move him up or back, you affect some other people as well as just him. And each game is very important.
That's it. Play them as they come. There's a strike and the count 2-1. And when it's your turn, here's the ball. Go get him, kid.
Because there's nothing saying that the game you're going to move Jake out of, you wind up losing that game, then you never know what's going to happen. You just, you know.
Well, that's what happened with 69 Cubs. Shook the whole psyche of that ball club. Three and one.
Now Cano comes in and he wants to have a word with Nova. Believing that there is a stadium full of Spanish lip readers. They both have their gloves over their lips. So Martin was putting his glove over his mask. I'm not sure how many people can read his lips through the mask.
We lived in Paris for 3 years. So 3-1 to count. DY's on deck. Payoff pitch. Ball four, base. And there's ball four. Price has singled and he has gone out to left. One out, two on. A 2-2 tie here in the bottom of the fifth. Blocked nicely by Russell Martin.
Toronto's coming back in that game against Detroit.
Top of the eighth, yeah, it's now 5-3, and they got a couple guys on. Benoit now on the bump. And the count 2-0 with Uke on deck.
Here comes Larry Rothschild with nobody up to this point in the bullpen. Bumber throwing in the pen. He's been very good out of the bullpen.
There's a base hit, hard hit. Swisher, they're going to have to hold Alexei as he'll get it back in. So that will load him up, and here comes you. He was.
This ball was hit so hard, and Nick Swisher played it so well that even as aggressive as Joe McEwing is, you didn't want to test him. He's playing fairly shallow and got the ball in quickly.
Yeah, Nick rolled the dice right there. As hard as that ball was hit, he came in and got a tough hop for himself. So here we go. Sox packed with good guys, and you 0 for 2. He has struck out and lined very hard to Cano. Lays off the breaking ball.
Well, Martin had the ball, lost the ball, had his mask, kicked his mask, then eventually came up with the ball. The bases loaded over the course of Euclid's career. He's been pretty good. And Joe Girardi, who saw him in a Red Sox uniform, knows that he's a pretty dangerous hitter.
That's high into right field. They'll get the job done. Stretch! Stretch! You can put it on the board! Yes! Yes! A grand slam for Uke! And the Sox lead it 6-2. Mercy!
15th home run. He's driven in 47. And it's pretty easy to tell which way the wind is blowing, because that looked like a pop-up, certainly deep enough, and it just kept on going. Swisher ran out of room. And it's a 4-run lead on the bomb by Euclid.
A little curtain call. And that hit him on the fist, pops him up. Nix is there, and that is out number 2.
Our Ford home run replay. Fastball on the outer third. Swisher just goes up. It's gone. We told you Nova gives up a lot of home runs. His second of the night, his 25th of the year. And Yvonne, even in Yankee Stadium, that's a home run.
So here's Paulie. Takes ball 1. Paulie is 1 for 2. Here's what he did back in the 4th. Yankees were leading 2-1.
We'll try to get it up and in.
He did.
And out. Up, in, and out.
Two and 1 to count.
Now the bullpen up and going. Derek Lowe, who came in last night, gave up a run on 2 hits.
There's a shot. And that'll bring up Alex.
Menard's pitch tracks, and Nova's throwing the ball right down the middle. So that term wild in the strike zone certainly applies to Nova at this point. And those are not impressive numbers.
Alex is 1 for 2. He tripled, leading off the second. Scored on the sacrifice fly by AJ, and then in the 4th he just hit a rocket right to Teixeira. Nice block by Martin. And of course, with those 2 home runs by Konerko and Uke, the Alex Nellius family will donate $100 to White Sox charities for every Sox homer hit throughout the course of the season. That is number 162 and 63, so $16,300 donated by Alex Nellius in loving memory of Ursula. There, he got a good pitch to hit. A little quick, fouls it away. He said he went, says Mike Muchlinski. But the grand slam homer by Kevin Youkilis will go to the 6th, leading 6-2. Sayers, presented by Cadillac. The legendary Hall of Fame running back sits down with David Kaplan to discuss his playing years and his post-career accomplishments, plus his emotional position on bounty programs and football. All that and more on Inside Look. Gale Sayers, Thursday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. A 6-2 Sox lead. We trailed it 2-0. Got one in the second on that triple, and RBI, sacrifice fly by Pierzynski, knocking in Rios. Paulie tied it in the 4th with a homer, and then last inning, the grand slam by Youkilis.
About ready to deliver pitch number 102.
There's a shot, base hit. So we got to shut him down right here. Got to bring up Jason Nix. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Anderson now 1 for 3 with an RBI. Blocked nicely, kept in front by AJ.
Well, this Yankee team, no lead is safe. They've got thunder up and down their lineup. And with that in mind, Robin has the bullpen up and going. And to give the bullpen a chance to get loose, Don Cooper Takes a long stroll to the mound.
And the Sox are making a push to play in the postseason, and you don't want to miss any of that action. It is playoff payoff time. Purchase tickets for remaining 2012 games and a place to deposit on 2013 season tickets, and you'll guaranteed seats for the 2012 postseason. So for more information, call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
So Coop has had his chat. And it appears the bullpen is ready to go. With Liriano with a high pitch count and nobody out here in the 6th.
To a no the count. That's a decent lead by Curtis. And there is a typical Jason Nix strike. Hit hard, very hard, but very foul.
That's what we remember in a different pinstripe uniform.
That ball into center field. We got a man there. So D. Wise will get it back in, and that is out number 1. So Casey McGee will be the hitter. He has gone out to right and grounded to short. Big hack, no contact.
That slider's still pretty good from Liriano. As that one bit down and in.
Toronto hitting in the top of the 9th, trailing 5-3 in Detroit. They have a man on, nobody out. All right, boys, take your time. Rack them up. And that'll retire the side. We're into the bottom of the 6th, leading 6-2. With Constellation to help refurbish McGuane Park here near U.S. Cellular Field. They were joined by pitcher Philip Umber as together they placed mulch and fiber on the playground and returfed baseball fields. The service event is part of the Environmental Sustainability Partnership between Constellation and our Sox. So to learn more about the White Sox Volunteer Corps and how you can get involved, visit whitesox.com/volunteer.
So a lot of them at the game tonight. So a lot of those green jerseys with all the volunteers. Nice to have them out at the old ballpark, and nice to see what's happening in this game. And once again, it's been the long ball that's made the difference.
Just tuning in, Derek Jeter got him off to a pretty good start. He hit the first pitch of the ball game, thrown by Liriano out of the ballpark. 2 nights in a row. He hit the first pitch last night off Gavin Floyd for a rocket single into right between first and second. And tonight a bullet home run into our bullpen. They scored 2 in the first, and Liriano had just settled down since then. Could have been a lot worse in that first inning.
Well, exact similar scenario last night with Gavin Floyd in the first inning.
AJ with a little 3-hopper. 1 out. AJ now 0 for 2. That sacrifice fly knocking in his 69th run. A line shot right to Teixeira, and then a little soft ground ball to Cano. So here's Tank. Tank is fouled out the first and hit a little soft line drive to Cano. Takes first pitch strike. Blue Jays have now 2 on, 1 out. And Colby Erasmus at the plate.
And Valverde, who usually makes things interesting in the ninth.
1-1 to count to Tank. Softly hit. Nix. 2 down. And Sox fans, every White Sox Friday home game is United Flyaway Friday. Each Friday home game, one lucky fan will have the chance to win 2 free round-trip tickets to anywhere in the continental United States that United Airlines flies. United, proud to fly our White Sox. We thank all the group. Mark Seipel, Sparky, Mike Corrigan, Bobby Garcia, Tanya, Elodie, Jackie, Carolina, good people. Do a terrific job. So here's Alexei. He started off that 4-run 5th with a double into right center. He also has lined very hard to Cano. The ball hit hard but foul. I also want to thank all those terrific guys and ladies at Atlantic Aviation. That ball hit deep into right field. Stretch! Stretch! Swisher right in front of the fence. Hauls it in. And that'll retire the side. We're into the 7th. It's a 6-2 Sox lead. Miss a minute of the action from the nation's capital as the Fire take on the division rival DC United. Coverage begins at 6 with Chicago Fire pregame live. Fire DC United tomorrow night at 6 right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
So Jesse Crane comes into the ball game. Crane at 2-2, ERA 2.73, on for the 38th time. He inherits a 4-run lead. Liriano's night is done. 6 innings, a couple of runs on 6 hits. Walked 3, fanned 7, and after a rocky start, he settled down and handled a pretty tough lineup.
Yes, he did. So here's Russell Martin, the catcher. Russell has gone out to right and then had a little duck snort single in the center. That one at 93. And the count 1-1.
Big Sox fan looking on, Kathy Nothelfer. Very happy with the Yankee series so far from Silver Lake Country Club.
Two and one to count. Hit him on the fist, pops him up, and that's not going to be playable. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Full count. That's the final from Detroit. 5-3 Tigers over Toronto. And it's a 6-3 ball game. Those full counts get you some canceled checks.
14th home run for Martin, and even with a batting average below 200, he still managed to keep the power numbers up. A Ford home run replay, and that one very hittable, and you see the result.
So here's Jeter. He's 1 for 3. That first pitch homer leading off the ball game. Softly hit. Paulie's got him. And that is out number 1.
Matt Thornton starting to loosen in the pen.
And you can stop by Bacardi at the Park at US Cellular Field at the Gate 5 Plaza. Bacardi at the Park offers a full menu from Gibson's Restaurant Group and opens at 11 a.m. before all home games. And it's a great place to hang out and watch the action on over 70 HD TVs. So here's Swish. Swish 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. Takes first pitch strike. Change up and the count 1-1. Another changeup. That was a pitch that just absolutely, when he was in a White Sox uniform, ate him alive.
Couldn't hit it at all. And not having much success with it here tonight. But he'll turn around for you from the left side especially.
Oh, yeah. He can do that. Breaking ball, 2-2. Got a final from City Park. Rockies beat the Mets 6-2. D-backs leading the Marlins 5-0. Top of the second out in Phoenix. St. Louis 7, Houston 0. Bottom of the sixth in St. Louis. There's that changeup. And 2 down. Bottom of the sixth in Milwaukee, 1-0 Brew Crew over the Cubs. Baltimore leading Texas 5-1. Game in the bottom of the sixth down in Arlington. Bottom of the ninth at Fenway. Angels leading the Carmines 5-3. Bottom of the eighth in Philadelphia 4-3 Cincinnati.
I'm predicting the Phillies tie it up.
Don't say. I thought they fixed mine. I thought they rebooted it.
They did. They just rebooted it slower.
Man. I'm going to throw this thing. You know, I'm going to tee it up and hit it with a bat. Side pad I got. Watch out. You got him. They'll retire the side. Home run by Martin. 7th inning stretch. We lead at 6-3. And Friday, Jake Peavy heads to the bump as our Sox look to set off the fireworks against the Mariners. Coverage against at 6:30 with White Sox pregame live, presented by Honda City. White Sox Mariners, Friday night at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Derek Lowe comes into the ball game. 8-10, but with the Yankees, a little bit better. 4th appearance, ERA of 1.69. but he's worked entirely out of the bullpen.
There's a chopper up the middle, so a good way to start. And now a big turn. He'll get back as Granderson got to it. So Gordon is now 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
Here's what Lowe did combine. He was a starter with the Indians and didn't fare very well. A sinker baller who gave up 160 hits and 124 in the third innings. And last night didn't fare very well here, as the big man Adam Dunn took him opposite field for a home run.
And here's D. Wise. Pulls that one into the hole. Gordon now's going to make the turn. Swisher will just get it back in. And the boy D. Wise with his third hit of the night. Phyllis, Tom, and Deb Leonakis from Roseland Garden Center in South Bend's picked the click.
Time now for Illinois Lottery Anything's Possible replay, and it's the grand slam off the bat of Kevin Youkilis that is the difference in this one. Ball kept drifting, and Youkilis hits his 15th home run and drives in runs 44, 45, 46, and 47.
Now the Yankees are going to bring the infield in. Uke is 1 for 3 lifetime off Lowe. And that's ground ball, so 1 out. Wise moves into second. And that'll bring up Adam Dunn.
You would think they'd put him on here and take your chances with a sinker baller, getting a double play.
Paulie on deck, and Paulie doubled after that home run off Derek. And talking about that home run last night off Lowe.
Number 36, opposite field. And starting on his road.
Well, I think he's going to get to 600.
He could if he wants to. If he wants to play that long.
Exactly right. If he wants to play that long. So sacks packed for Paulie. Paulie 2 for 3. Teixeira, Eden close. As there's first pitch strike. And here's what he did to tie this ball game up back in the 4th inning.
Third home run since coming off the disabled list. Showing no ill effects at all of that concussion.
0-2 the count. With Alex Rios on deck. Well, that might be, in retrospect, one of the best things that could happen to him, because he was banged up, playing with a lot of soreness in his arm and his hands.
And not hitting for power. I mean, hitting, but just not hitting for power.
Two down. Big strikeout.
I think this one surprised Paulie because it's a good slider in a perfect spot out of the zone. He didn't pick up the spin real well on that one.
So here's Alex. He's 1 for 3 and has hit the ball hard twice. That triple leading off the second, and he scored. Then he lined out very hard to Andrew Jones in left. And he takes first pitch strike. He's had a tough time against that 6'6" right-hander. He's 1 for 13. Good eye there. 1-1. Big pitch coming up. The 1-1. Lowe's going to pitch out of it. Had a golden opportunity, couldn't do anything with it. We're into the 8th, leading 6-3. Sox lead. Jesse Crain into his second inning of work. He'll be facing Teixeira, Jones, and Granderson, the scheduled hitters. Takes ball 1. Teixeira. He's walked twice and singled. A hard single right back through the middle, almost dehorned Liriano.
Joe Girardi has both Ichiro and Ibanez on the bench.
Polly. Pickett. Wilson. 1 down.
First time our boys have retired Teixeira. And here comes Ichiro.
Andrew Jones had walked, singled hard into left field and struck out, so he was 1 for 2. Ichiro hitting at .271, 7 homers and 41 knocked in.
And as soon as he was announced, that's what Robin was waiting for. And he's going to call Matt Thornton into the game, so that's going to be it for Jesse Crain. So as Matt Thornton walks in, we'll step out and be back after these messages.
bike build on Saturday, September 8th from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. So to sign up for the White Sox Volunteer Corps, visit whitesox.com and click the Community tab. First Merit Bank, this is your year. How can we help?
It's a dodge call to the pen, and it's Matt Thornton who comes into the game. Thornton at 4-8, ERA a little above 3.5, on for the 57th time.
He threw 5 for 18 lifetime off Matt. One and one to count. That's the final now from Boston. 5-3 Angels. Final in Washington. Nats beat Atlanta 4-1.
Ichiro in his career is only 1 for 12 as a pinch hitter. As you'd expect, he doesn't have that many opportunities.
Washington now with a 7-game lead over the Bravos.
Pretty amazing what those Nationals have done, and it's Steven Strasburg, 15-5, 2.85 ERA. They keep insisting they will shut him down. They could be losing some pitcher.
The ball hit deep into center field, but we got a man there. D-Wise. Two down. Well, again, that's going to be something that's going to be talked about. I was listening to our buddy Jim Cott earlier this afternoon, and he was talking about that situation, and I think that Kitty agrees the same way that you and I do. You know, it's just, you know, he's already had Tommy John surgery. You got a team that's probably going to go to the playoffs.
Yes.
And Mike Rizzo has done such a fantastic job. But the thing about it is that you can talk with all the doctors you want. How do you anticipate an injury? I mean, how do you do it, especially after you already had Tommy John?
Well, one thing I don't understand is they've been pitching him in rotation. I mean, if you want to limit his innings, skip a start every now and then, just limit his innings altogether, and you'll get to whatever that number is, but you'll get to it sometime during the playoffs, probably.
Well, you and I both, you know Mike a lot better than I do, but he's no question about the fantastic job that he's done with that organization. But to go into a playoff scenario without your best pitcher he doesn't want to stop. Right. No. He wants to pitch, and that's what they signed him for. Meanwhile, we're at the bottom of the 8th. We're still leading 6-3. Sox postgame live. We'll take a spin around the major leagues. Plus, we'll check in with some members of the Bears defense as they prepare for their New York Giant confrontation. So join Pat Boyle and Mark Shanowski. Pat Boyle and Mark Shanowski for GMC Sportsnet Central tonight after postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Got a new left fielder. Ichiro stays in the game. And Derek Lowe remains on the hill.
AJ is 0 for 2 with an RBI. That sacrifice fly knocking in Alex Rios, who tripled to lead off the second. Going to the count. Yeah, but getting back to the Strasburg thing, that's going to be absolutely. We're going to get tired of hearing about it before it's over with.
Well, it's going to be out there on a daily basis as he gets closer to whatever time limit they set. But talking to Mike, he said they are definitely going to shut him down, and when they do, reactivate him for the playoffs.
That will be a first.
Be right up there, yeah.
3-2 the count to AJ. Start us off right here. Let's get one or two more. Tank on deck. There's a just foul. This is close as far as being over that bag. That ball hit hard. Ichiro will not get that one. Hits the top of the fence now. AJ, he's going to turn it on. He's going to pick up his 4th triple. Yes.
Well, after just missing a double down the left field line, AJ gets one up and out over the plate. Takes a very unusual hop off the top of the wall, and Swisher overruns it as the ball kind of backs up on him, and AJ with the slide into third.
First pitch strike. Yankees with the infield in. Tank fouled out to first. Hit a little soft line drive to Cano, and he's grounded to third.
You're probably not going to find a whole lot of catchers with 4 triples this year, if any.
4 triples. Attaboy. Lays off that one. And the count 2-1. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a big strikeout, and that'll bring up Alexei. Well, we have, in the last 2 days,
Left a lot of men at
Left
third.
a lot of guys at third with less than 2 out. Come on, Alexei, pick him up.
Alexei's been swinging it pretty well, and he's got the luxury of having all 4 of the infielders in just about as far as you can get in.
It's a big, big run out there. Gordon on deck. Checks it up. Now Alexei going to call timeout, stretch out that back, that lower back a little bit. Two and two the count. Outfield slightly to the right. Big gap out there in left center. And a full count. All 4 bases. Just got a piece of it. Six 10-0 for our guys, 3-7-0 for their guys. They scored 2 in the top of the first. We had 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth, and 4 on the grand slam homer by Uke in the fifth. They added 1 in the seventh. And that's a little looper out into short. Ichiro is there. Nobody's going anywhere. Oh, he almost threw it away. So that's out number 2. So it's up to Gordon.
Well, we got 2 pitchers up in the bullpen.
Gordon 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Pretty good pitch, didn't get that one.
Well, I assume it's going to be Addison Reed if we don't score, and he'll sit down if we do.
That breaking ball grabs the strike. So the Yankees schedule hitters are Nix, McGee, and Martin, lower third of their order. And that's going foul.
Brett Myers, the pitcher down there that'll most likely come in if we can get this 4-run lead.
Derek Lowe, one of the faster workers. He will get it and throw it.
He's been like that for a long time.
Look at this. Is that sweet or what? Yes. AJ scores, and it's a 7-3 Sox lead. That's the shades out of the big hurt Frank Thomas right there.
45 driven in by Gordon Beckham on his second hit. He takes one just off the dirt, out of the strike zone, hits it off the end of the bat, and hits it just far enough.
So here's D. Wise. He is 3 for 4 tonight with a run scored. And he takes ball 1. And there is a shot base hit into center field. So he's 4 for 5.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and it's our Miller moment. And the moment came back in the 5th inning. Kevin Youkilis hits it just far enough. A grand slam at the time. Gave us a 4-run lead, broke a 2-2 tie.
So Uke 1 for 3 with that, Granny. Have a good night, Uke.
A career high 4 hits.
And there's a tough hop. Nix handles it. Goes to second just in time as they get Wise. Meanwhile, 2-out single by Gordon Beckham knocks in Pierzynski. We're going to the 9th, leading 7-3. iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at to 31826 or visit whitesox.com.
Brett Myers comes into the game. And he's been pretty good out of the pen. He's going to try to finish it off with a 4-run lead. And out of a save situation, Addison Reed had a seat.
Chavez hitting far. Jason Nix. Chavez last night 1 for 4. Three and 0 the count. Not even close. So the dreaded leadoff walk. And that'll bring up Ibanez. Good job by Matt Thornton. Ibanez last night was 1 for 3. Oh, we have a moment. We'll send a big White Sox shout out and happy 70th anniversary to Bud and Molly Vanna from Willowbrook with a lot of love. So there's ball one. 70th wedding anniversary. Wow.
Donnie Veal starting to get loose in the pen. But I would believe if there's a problem, it's going to be Addison Reed, not Donnie Veal.
One and two the count.
And there is Addison Reed.
And that fastball slashed foul. Tomorrow night, Chris Sale against Phil Hughes, so make it plans to be with us here at the ballpark. If you can't, that game will be over. WCIU, then an off day on Thursday, and then the Mariners come to town Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to conclude this brief 6-game homestand. There's a chopper. So they get to lead man, one gone. And it'll bring up Russell Martin, who's 2 for 3 with a homer tonight.
These have been two pretty exciting ball games. First 2 games of the series, and a critical series actually for both teams.
High pop up. D Wise. 2 down. So here's Derek Jeter. 1 for 4, and that coming on the first pitch of the ball game, a homer. Oh, Francisco Liriano. Pitchers of record of the starters, Liriano and Nova. Bañez goes. Hey, nice catch. Barehanded by a line shot. Foul ball.
There you go. Nice idea.
He's going to give it to a youngster.
Give it to the Gator.
Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. And that's into right field. We got a man there, and this ball game is over. So the Sox, both games, come back to home run ball, Stevie. And tonight it was Kevin Youkilis.
Well, a terrific night. It started the same way as last night. 2 runs down in the first. This team once again fought back. You said it. And the game started in the tees. A resilient baseball team, and that's what these boys are.
And our GMC player of the game is the Uke, Kevin Youkilis. That grand slam, his 15th home run of the season. So for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our technical manager Mark Harper, the executive producer Jim Corno Jr., for the mayor Ming Joe Good, and up here in the booth Dave Cella, the Golden Greek Jim Tianis, Frank Leone, and Truck and Sound, Doug Bullard. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, now part of the NBC Sports Group.